day. This is Russ Worthington, Cousin Russ, starting to broadcast another test of my office hours. I want to do a couple different things this time, but that's okay. I'm good with that. Uh, so I see that somebody has joined the YouTube channel, and I thank you. You must have got notification that something was going on, and that's good. Let me get rid of this icon that's on my desktop, and I got rid of it. There you go. What I'm going to talk about is preparation for the 1950 census. Now, I hope that many of you will have seen this graphic, and let me see if I can get it on the right screen. This is DearMyrtle's CensusGenie graphic that she has. And in the description of this uh, live recording, there's a link to her blog post on CensusGenie and our schedule. So I'm going to talk about that. And in the notes that I gave you, there's a link to a series of blog posts that I have done for Family Tree Maker 2019. The intention today, besides the test, is I've added a new feature that I'm going to try as I go along, make sure that it works. But if you see that graphic, pay attention, because it's an announcement or we've added some information. DearMyrtle's done a great job, and we've been studying the 1950 census preparation for almost a year. So moving right along, since what I want to do is show Family Tree Maker, and that's what's here now. And this is a test file. It's not my normal file, but it's a test file that I have that I want to work on to see who I might find in the 1950 census. Now, this is a new file for me, and it's not uploaded and synced yet, but I'm going to rely on hints. So what I'm going to do, though, is show you how fast hints show up. First thing I want to do is upload and sync to Ancestry. This file's not there. I'm going to cancel that because I broke my own rules. I'm going to go to Tools, Compact File, and I'm going to back it up before I do anything. And I have a folder dedicated for my backups, and the file name is there, and the default file name is presented to us as a backup, but I always add the time after the date. And that, yeah, 3/1, I forgot that we're into March already. So I'm now backing up the file, and it is now backed up. And now it's going to compact the file. And as I talked about yesterday, and you notice this is quite a bit faster than it was yesterday, the compacting file is cleaning up the file now. I see that, let me try my new trick that I want is that, there we go. It says that the reduced it by 33.93%. That's not good enough. I want that number to be 0. So I clicked OK. And now I'm going to compact the file another time, but I don't have to back it up because I just did. So compact, I do not have to back it up this time because I already have a backup. So I'm going to perform the analysis or doing the compact right now. And it's down to 0%. And let me test this out. So right there it says 0.0%. So I'm good to go to upload and sync. So I click OK. I'm in the plan workspace. And what I want to do, I want to get back to the plan workspace and upload and link to Ancestry. And I had already watched that it was green. It's green here. And when I started, the sync weather report says we're green, so I can continue to sync. Now, I can call, that's the name of the file on my computer. By default, Family Tree Maker assigns the Ancestry member tree name the same as on the desktop, and I'm okay with that. Sync changes, I want to do it manually, but I don't want this file public, which is the default. I want to make it private, and I'm going to exclude this tree from Ancestry's search index. I don't want Ancestry to find it. It's a test file. I've got a lot of cleanup to do, I can tell. So I don't want Ancestry to find it. So I'm going to click upload. And what is happening right now, and it's already done it, it's taken the data from 209 people and uploaded to Ancestry. And if you look, wait a minute, I can't find my, there it is. If you look right here, there's where it says that it's the green weather, but here's where it says uploading to Ancestry. Now, what's going to be important, so the data is up there. Let me close that window. I'm going to close that window. I can't because I've got it. So let me get rid of that bar. And what I want to do, the bar went away, and I'll show you something that changed over here in a minute. But I got a pop-up window that says, go look at the Ancestry member tree. I'm going to click OK, and it's going to open on another screen, I hope. And I want to close this, and the sync state is checked. We're in good shape. And now, if I look right here, that there's this, I am in sync. There's a check mark, and there's a link to the Ancestry member tree. Let me get rid of that and get my cursor back. And I want to bring up the Ancestry member tree, and whoop, it's not available yet. Looks like Ancestry maybe, wait a minute, I'm working on another screen. There it is. So here's the Ancestry member tree that I just uploaded. And the reason why I'm showing this is, let me broaden it out a little bit. The reason why I'm showing you the Ancestry member tree is I'm going to click on this down arrow and look at all hints. Now, I just uploaded it. Now, I want to see if there are any hints yet on that Ancestry member tree. And I've already got 208 hints. Those are record hints. I have Ancestry member tree searching for other trees. I have it turned off. There's some stories, there's some photos. I'm not going to go into detail. What I want to point out is this one option that says that I've got 208 record hints already, and I just uploaded that tree to Ancestry.com. Okay, back to Ancestry, our Family Tree Maker. what I want to do now is see who in this file I might find in the 1950 Federal Census. Now, what I've just taken off the screen right now is Evernote, which is where I keep my notes. And you can see I have it open because I need it on a different screen. What I want to do now is create a filter that will help me identify who I should be able to find in the 1950 census. Now, as I said in the comments or the description of this recording, I have a couple questions. One, do I have an address for this person? Did I find them in the 1940 U.S. Federal Census? Have I looked at city directories? Do I have a marriage date for females? I found this very important, and I won't spend a lot of time on it, but do I have a marriage date for females? That would tell me when I might need a search for uh, a different surname. And do I have a death date? And that I hopefully will become obvious here in a couple of minutes. Now, if I do this correctly, what I will do is put into the chat some filters or some information about the filter that I am going to create. Now, I did already talk about the filter in the blog post that I created, but I'm going to create the filter now. So I'm going to go to the home person. You see that the hints are already showing up, and I already have this file color coded, so we're good to go there. And I'll talk about these blue boxes some other time. So I want to create a filter of who I should be able to find in the 1950 census, assuming that I have an address, that I have them in the 1940 census, marriage and death dates. So I click on filter and a box shows up. Now there's many ways to do this. This one has worked for me, and I've tested it several times on several files. So this one works for me so far, and doing a demo today, I'm going to see if it works on this file because this is a new file for me. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is filter in. I'm going to include all people, all persons, and I just put that in the chat. So include all. So now, and I'm not sure, I just got an error message that says I'm having trouble with my internet connection. I don't understand it. Looks good to me. Oh, there we go. Just went into the chat. So I have 209 people in my file. That's the left-hand side of this screen. And I said include all. I have 209 in the filter. The next thing that I need to do, I want to start filtering out some of these people that I probably won't find in the 1950 census. And the first one is I'm going to filter out anybody who died before 1949. Now, why am I not putting 1950 there? Well, for me, my dates I put a plus or minus 18 months, so almost 2 years on either side, because I normally, if I see a date that's just a year, I will put the word about before that. So I know that I don't have an exact date. For that reason, I'm going to say anybody I'm going to filter out anybody who died before 1948. How do I do that? I click on filter out. I happen to know that the death date is under vital records. So I select death. I'm going to select date. And so the death date is before, I clicked on the down arrow next to equals, is before 1949. And because I always have more than one set of dates for a fact, I'm going to use the alternate facts field. So that's going to help clean up some of this. So I have 209, I click OK, and I'm down to 110. So 100 and some odd people died before 1950. So I'm not going to find them. So the next filter that I'm going to create, and I'm putting it into the chat so you can see it, I'm going to filter out the birth date after 1950. So I'm going to filter out birth this time, date, alternate facts is after 1950. So I'm going to go from 110 down to 104. So a couple of people were born after 1950, and that I expect. Now, the next filter that I'm going to use is about the residence fact. Do I know where they have lived from all the records that I've looked at? Do I have a residence fact for them? For an example, a census record is going to end up by being in the residence fact. So I want to filter everybody who I do not have a residence fact. Again, I'm going to go filter. Now, this is not a vital record. This fact is under all, and I'm going to scroll down here to residence. Now, here's the tricky part, or one I haven't done before, any data. So I'm going to filter out anybody who does not have a residence fact. I have to change does not exist. So what I'm going to do is take this 104 people and I'm going to get rid of everybody who I don't know where they lived. Residence fact, any data, that fact is, in other words, there's nothing in there and it does not exist. So I click OK, and now I'm down to 16. So I'm getting there. I've only got 16 people, and I haven't implemented the filter yet, but I'm not quite done. And you'll see why in a minute. Then the next fact that I'm going to do is I'm going to filter out anybody who does not have an address. And I'm doing this because I want to get down to the people that I can find. I can get rid of any of these facts, any of these filters as I go along. And I would start from the bottom and work up. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So this next one is address does not exist. So if I do not have an address, I'm going to do the same process. All facts, address, any data does not exist. So I'm going to remove everybody who I do not have an address for. Oops, must be everybody. I don't have any addresses in this database. Whoops. So the only thing I'm going to do this is for this database, my working database, I have addresses all over the place. So I'm going to just delete with a trash can. I'm going to delete that last filter. But in my working database, I do include it. Now there's one other group of people that I probably don't have enough information, and I want to get down to a workable number of profiles. I'm down to 16, so I'm in good shape. But there's a group of people that I also want to get out of my database. So I want to filter out anyone who was born after 1940. Now, I'll get rid of that filter later on once I get the ones that the 16. Once I find them, then I can get rid of this next one, which is filter out. Again, birth is in the vital records. Birth is after alternate facts 1940. There's no change, and I expected that with this database, but my working database, I got rid of a lot of people. I haven't applied the filter yet. I'm going to, but what I want to do is point out that number right there that says there's 209 people in my database, just so you know that it's there. And now I'm going to apply the filter that I created. I am now down to 16, and to show you the 16, so that shows you the 16 people that I expect to find in the 1950 census. I probably have some work to do. Now, what I want to show you from here, and I'm sure that you can't see the screen clearly, and I understand that, but you can do what I'm doing with your own database. So what I'm going to do is click on, as soon as I get back my mouse back, I clicked on the first person. Now I can look at the right-hand side. Now, I don't do any work in my database from this screen. I do it from the people or the person tab, which I'll show you in a few minutes. But what I want to do is just go down the index of the 16 people and see if I ended up with people that I should end up. So the birth date was 1891, death 1957. I should be able to find that person. Did you see the hints show up when I'm over here? That's because I synced this file with Ancestry. So there's a bunch of hints that just came in while I'm looking at it. So this person looks like, okay, I should be able to find them. The dates look good. I'll go into the details later on, but this first go round, I'm just looking to see if I got the right people. There's a female, so I really want to find, I don't even know whether this person was married or not, but born in 1897. The next person, 1824. That one I did not have a filter to anyone born before. So this person I probably won't find in the 1950 census. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go to that workspace and I'm going to make a task. And I have a task here. I'm just going to make a note to myself that says born about 1824. It's just a note. I'm not going to do anything with it right now, but it's a note to me that there's something else going on here. Now, I want to assign a category to that, and I'm going to add 19. Oops, get my mouse here. 1950 census. So this is a task list of the category called 1950 census. I click OK and I add it. Oops, I didn't select it. Click OK, medium category, and I now have a new task. So it's just a note as I'm going through this initial review. I'm just making that note that that something may not be right. If you're watching on YouTube and wish to leave a comment in the chat, please do. If you have any questions as I go along, please put it in the chat. I am looking at the chat. So let me go back and continue. And I'm going to go to the next person, born 1896. I don't have a death date, and that's okay for this review. 1894, we're good. 1824. Guess what I'm going to do? I am going to born about 1824. So I'm just building up some tasks for the 1950 census, and I'll show you where that ends up a little bit later on. But I'm just going to review just a very high level review of this list of 16 people. 1863, 1950, boy, just got that one, huh? So I should be able to find that person in the 1950. Going to the next one, 1899, we're good. 1890 to 1995, we're good. Next one, 1865, 1964. Good. 99-year-old person right there. That's good. Going to the next person, 1921 to 2009, we're good. 1917 to 1963, we're good. And the next one is 1888 to 1969. Please leave a comment in the chat where you're watching this from, if you would appreciate it. Go down to the next person, 1918 to 2005, we're good. So 1923 to 1984, we're good. And the last one is 1916 to 2011. So I should be able to find these 16 people, what I've seen so far, just looking not in the details for the person, but just in the birth dates. And we've made two notations that things I need to look at further. Let me show you where that is while we're talking about it. I'm going back to the plan workspace. And what I'm going to do is do filter fact, list task categories, and the 1950 census. So I have two tasks for the 1950 census to work on. They're just two notes that when I go to work on them, now I can work on them from this screen. I don't normally, but what I want to do is go back to that person. I selected that task, go to that person. There they are in the tree view. Now I can go to the person view. So what I have so far is they have a residence fact of 1880. Well, I got a lot of work to do on this one, huh? So what I want to do, what I will work on next, I'm not going to do it right now because there's something else I want to do. But if I'm working on this person from here, what I can do is click on the shaky leaf and let's see what it brings up for that person. There's a splash screen. I always leave the splash screen on so that just as a reminder. So what I have for records for Catherine, Massachusetts death, marriage, she must have been Roman Catholic, obituary. There's something I want to look at. The 1960 census or 1860 census. I'm guessing if I go back to her, we'll find that we have a record that has her a location somewhere in 1888, if I remember correctly. Ireland civil registration, 1850 census. Massachusetts state census. So I've got some records here that I will work on, and I work on hints. And now that I want to go back to her, there's that 1880 record, and that was it was an 1880 census that was picked up. This is not my file. I am just using it for demonstration purposes. That citation has not been put into the source template feature, but that'll be a topic for another day. What I want to do, though, is go back to the plan workspace and click on the link to the Ancestry member tree. Remember, I started about 206 hints. Let's see if any have been added. And we're now up to 636 hints. So just within the last 25 minutes or so, I added 300 hints that I can work off of. So I'm not going to work the hints. I'm still working on making sure that I've got the right 16 people. And since I said that, I'm going to take a peek, going back here to obituary, death date 1898. That may not be her. Let's go back to the death record, 1898. Let's look at that record, and it is for her. Birth 1826, which is correct, and she died in 1898. So she should go away, but I need to bring this record in. But I'm not going to do that right now. What I am going to make a note, death index 1898. So I'm just going to add that to the task list because I want to go after that record. Like I said, I'm not doing the records right now. I want to go after that record because what that record will do was remove her from the list of 16. Hope that makes sense. It makes sense to me. Hope it makes sense to you. I see a couple more people are watching on YouTube. If you'd leave a comment in the chat where you're watching this from, I would appreciate it. It's a test for me. I'm just checking out the features that I'm going to use for RootsTech-2022. Just as if you're just catching in on the live and wonder what I'm talking about, I'm working on the file that I have open. I am preparing it for the release of the 1950 U.S. Federal Census. Hi, Karen from, I guess that's San Francisco. Welcome. Appreciate your comment that you're there. Now, there's something else that I've learned to use. You notice that I flow from Oregon. You'll notice that I got hints for everybody on my list. So that's good news for me. I'm not going to work off the hints right now. I'm going to do one more thing before I get there because I find it very helpful for me in working with my database. The square empty boxes indicate that there's a hint on the family search website for that person. And I'm going to show you what I do with that hint. What to me, and playing around with Family Tree Maker and Family Search since it came out the way we have it today, is if I see a hint from Family Search and it is the right person, that gives me an indication that there's something right about my database. I'm not going to do anything with it, but I want to make sure that I want to look to see if this Family Search hint is for this person. Now, I just hovered over the blue box for that person. That tells me that there's 2 Family Search hints, and I'm hovering over the shaky leaf, and it tells me there's 10 Ancestry hints. So I got 12 hints for him, and I just uploaded the database about a half hour ago. So I'm going to see if this is the right person, if it's a match, and there is 2 people, and what's in the lower left-hand corner is my database. That's the information in my database, and it's looking like I'm having trouble getting the information uh, from Family Search. Just looking at the data that's presented to me, there's no information down here, so I'm not going to match that person. I'm going to look at what's up here. John Francis Fitzgerald, that looks good. Thomas, Rosemary, and Mary Joseph. Mary Joseph looks good, but the parents don't look right. So what I'm not going to do is match it. And I'm going to do a couple more to see if any of them match. I don't know that that's a match. So I'm not going to select it. It's got different parents here. The parents are maybe right down here, but not really. Well, the mother and father are looking good. So there's something wrong with this John Francis Fitzgerald on Family Search. I don't want to clean it up. I'm not going to clean it up. So I'm not going to do a match. So let's go back to the people workspace and go down to the next blue square box, and it's empty. I hover over. Ah, I like one Family Search hint. I like that. So I selected it, and there's the name, there's the name, there's the name. The parents are the same as what I have. The name would be different. And I'm comparing my database, which is down here. I also can see it up here. And I'm comparing what Family Search has against my database, and I'm going to select a match. Now I'm going to guess because this is still going in circles. That means I'm having trouble communicating with the Family Search Family Tree website. So I can't match that. But so I don't waste everybody's time here, I'm going to go back to the people workspace and I'm going to add a new task. Family Search, Family Tree, match. Not done. And this is for my 1950 Federal Census. So I know there's a match there, but for some reason I'm not talking to Family Search, Family Tree as I should. So I'm just going to leave it there, and I can come back and get it later because I'm not going to remember all of this stuff. So I go back to the tree view and I go down to the next Family Search hint that I have. And just to catch everybody up, what I am doing is doing office hours for while Roots Tech is in progress. So I'm just going to come in and do just exactly what I'm doing now. And if there's questions, I'm watching the chat. So if you have a question, I will try to answer it live as we go. And I also have the capability of bringing you up so I can talk to you with a microphone. And if you have a camera, we'll put the camera on too. So anyhow, back to what I was doing. I'm going to again look at one match, and I didn't just do her, so I can click on that blue box, and I look at Mary Josephine, Mary Josephine, Mary Josephine, Michael, Mary A, Mary Ann. I'll take that. That looks like a match as well, but there's something wrong with the link to Family Search. So I'm going to go to the person and I'm going to say Family Search, Family Tree, match, did not match, did not complete match. I'll come back and look at that a little bit later on, and because I want to clean up the wording. So that's a 1950 item for my to-do list. Look at this. Look at this. I'm looking. I have a residence fact for 1900, 1910, 1920. I'm looking good. I have no address, but that's okay. So I'll come back to look at for more detail for her later on. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to push my luck and go to the next one. One Family Search match. Names are correct. Mother and father are correct. So I've still got the spinner down here. So I'm going to do my to-do list. Family search, family tree, match did not complete. I learn how to spell. And I put it in the category of 1950. And again, I will show you that in a few minutes. The tree, let me just complete what I'm doing. And so somebody else has joined the YouTube recording. Just put in the chat where you're viewing this from. I am doing a test of what I planning on doing during Roots Tech 2022. I'm going to have office hours. Let me just show you. I'm going to have office hours, probably an hour or so a day while Roots Tech is going on for people if they want to have questions about Family Tree Maker 2019. I'll try to answer them or demonstrate if there's something you want to have demonstrated. Don't forget to look at the description of the recording because there's a bunch of stuff that I have put in the description of this recording. And I'm watching the chat as I go along. So again, this is a test of what I'm doing. I want to do one more thing here. I'm going to take my face off the lower right-hand corner. I'm again checking a feature here within StreamYard, which is the technology that I am using today. I have 16 people on this list, and those 16 people I created using the filter feature in Family Tree Maker, and the rules for of how I filtered it are in two places. One in the chat for this recording, and also on my one of my blog posts that is also in the description. Okay, let me see where we are. We go here, and I don't remember whether I have not gone there. So I'm going to click on Family Search, Family Tree again. And I should move my notifications. So I'm looking to see what I have. Somebody doesn't use formal names on Family Search, Family Tree, but looking at the data that I have in my database, which is down here, looks pretty much like that. And I still can't match. So I'm going back over here to the personal workspace and Family Search, Family Tree, match did not complete. And put this as the 1950 Federal Census. It's on my to-do list, and I will check that out, and I'll show you that again in a few minutes. If you're watching and want to, just make a comment, what lets you know where you're watching from, and hopefully you will enjoy everything that's going on at RootsTech 2022. I know I missed being in Salt Lake City in the Salt Palace, but if I put my face back up on this lower left-hand corner of the screen, you will see behind me the help desk that I have stood in for a number of RootsTechs over the years, and it's all good. So I've got that task done. Now select the last person, and one family search. I got one, and the name is there's another middle name. We'll see that. Hi, Dr. Stewart from Bonnie, Scotland. Welcome. Thank you for leaving a comment. I'm just continuing my test. I'm actually, while I am doing the test, I am working on the 1950 U.S. Federal Census. And by the way, the techniques that I have described here, you could use for the 1921 census, the census that were done across the pond. The same filtering features that I've demonstrated here, you make adjustment on some of the dates, but the same filter feature will work for the release of that census. So I'm going back here because I couldn't complete it, and I want to make a note to myself that I did this. Family search, family tree, match did not complete. Learn how to spell. And I talked to Michael yesterday, Dr. Stewart, and he says hi. I told him that you dropped in. We appreciate you on the Tinkering with Tech website. So I have looked at the 16 people that I expect to find in the U.S. Federal Census in 1950, and I have hints for everybody coming from Ancestry. I have family search hints, but those family search hints I could not complete because something was going on between Family Tree Maker and Family Search. I'm guessing that it's on the Family Search side because a lot of us have been looking and playing around with RootsTech. I want to go back to the plan workspace because what I noticed is that I was not being consistent, and I do want to be consistent. I have family search, family tree match did not complete. I like that statement, but not that spelling. This one is correct. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that text and it's back in. But what I want to do is bring the first one that's not right and put it with the same text as I had before. And all I'm doing is pasting so that all of the tasks are the same. And like any other, like Excel or any spreadsheet program, if you click on the title, you can sort by the title. Who it was for, who it was for. Now, in this case, I have a filter. The only task category that I have selected is the 1950 census. So if I'm all the thing I'm doing is looking at what I need to do on from the task list for the 1950 census. I can come right here. Now, when I have not completed this task, but I'm going to demonstrate what I do when I do complete it. I open it, and I can do it from here, or I can do it from the people workspace. That's the task. If I complete, I'm going to resolve and matched. That's what I'm going to type when I complete this task. And I do one other thing. I put it into the low category and I mark it complete. So there is the low category. So I know that I completed it and how I resolved it, where I actually did the match. Now, again, I did not do that. So I am going to bring it back up and I'm going to get rid of that text that I had added, put it back up in the medium category and show it not complete. So that's what I have done for this demonstration, for this test for me. Make sure everything works the way I expected. If you join me again later on, I will probably be working on the same file for demonstration purposes because I want to have a file to work with. And if any of the names look familiar, if you're a user of Family Tree Maker and you click on Help Companion Guide, and here's what the companion guide looks like. This is in the Help menu. And if you look in any of the information that's in the help and in the guide itself, there we go. What you're going to see is some of the people in this database that I'm using that are in the companion guide. So the database that I have that I'll be working on is the database that was used to create the companion guide. Okay, last call for questions. I appreciate you making the comments and watching and spending a couple of minutes here. I am just making sure that I can use this technology for RootsTech 2022. So without anything else going on, I hope you have a great day and give a thumbs up if you care to. Leave comments if you care to. If you subscribe to the channel, if I go live, you will receive a notification. Thank you, Karen. Karen from San Francisco. Hope the weather's great out there. If you subscribe, if I go live, you will get a notification that I am going live. I, at the moment, do not have a set schedule. I'm going to try to do it by like 9:30 Eastern is when I'm planning on doing this same what I'm doing right now, just continuing what I'm doing, and we'll see how that works. I may adjust it. I'm not sure if anybody's going to join, But I appreciate each of you dropping by and leaving comments, and thank you very much. And I'm going to say have a wonderful day. Thank you.